Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going. Hello.
Hello, good morning, good evening.
Yes, Monday.
Yes, it was so good to hear our intro song, though.
I know. It doesn't get old, even 110 episodes in.
Right?
Yeah. So, for those of us, you just joining us, welcome to the Marked Up My Self-Care podcast. As you heard, I'm Linda and this is Jill, and we're going to start with some highs and lows for the day, because parenting has all sides.
Yes.
That's for sure. Yeah. So, Jill, do you want to get us started?
Sure. Okay. Highs and lows. Highs. I'm just coming off 3 weeks of vacation. Not all one spot. Back to back. There's like 2 mini ones and a long one, and I am done. I'm so happy to be home and away from the extended family now. I think everybody had their piece of me, and I'm happy to be like, let's stay internally here with my core for a little while. But it was fantastic to be away with everyone and give everyone time with us, to be out at the beach for a whole week. I mean, that was fantastic. I'm so happy. I'm such a beach person. I was in my element and I feel refreshed, except for the fact that I am exhausted from just lack of sleep for the week because of having a 5-year-old vacation. Which brings me to the low is having a 5-year-old on vacation. Especially when there are cousins around and he wants to do everything that his older cousins are doing. So I think that was the most challenging part, was being a parent on vacation and knowing how to navigate that, especially while my sister-in-law was navigating parenting her child at the same time, because both of those children were interacting in whichever way to cause us both to pull our hair out. So that is the low, and like just figuring it out. Last year was a little bit different with how things were split up, and we kind of it just wasn't the same last year. And I think we were all expecting the same as last year's family vacation like this, that it would be a little bit easier to be like, okay, kids, here you're doing something and this person's going to watch you, instead of the tantrums that were started and feels like never finished because nobody wanted to be left alone. So
gosh, yes. Yeah.
Those are
and
my
also out of your zone, out of your normal routine, out of home. There's so much really for little people to try and adapt to.
It was how we get ready for vacation mode when we're leading up to it. We don't want to do anything, and then we're on vacation and everything is just what it is. It's vacation mode. Well, he took that to the extreme, it feels like. We're on vacation, we don't listen to mommy or daddy anymore.
Fun times.
It was still overall very fun. So, Linda, you have highs and lows for today?
Oh goodness. I think a low. I've got a really tight jaw at the moment that I just can't seem to relax properly. It's really frustrating me. I'm sure it's connected and related to a whole heap of other stuff right now. It's just very frustrating and sore and uncomfortable. So that's not very fun. And then my high would be, it's just been a really nice, like, summery sort of winter day. So just blue sky with sun out. It is a little bit cooler over the evenings still. So still cooling down just because there isn't any cloud cover. But we ate lunch outside, got out into the garden. My 10-year-old got picked some daffodils for me, which was really very, very lovely. So yeah, just really nice to get fresh air, get outside, not have to be worried about all the stuff inside. Just, how you get stuck inside sometimes. Like today was a day at home for us because I've just trying to get over a bit of a cold for my little one. And so it's our second day without going anywhere at all. And you get to that stage where you get stuck inside and you're just looking around going, oh, there's so much to do. This is so hard work. And I could just keep cleaning windows and dusting all the things. And I just don't want to keep looking at all the things that I have to do.
Yeah. Yep.
Have you come home to reality of all the work that you have to do and all of the house stuff and the work stuff and all of the list of things?
Yesterday was a lot easier, other than the fact that we knew we had to go grocery shopping when we got home. Like that was because we obviously left the house with no food in the fridge because we didn't want everything to spoil while we were gone. So we knew we had to go food shopping. So I left it as like, let's that be the only thing we have to do when we get home.
Nice. Yeah.
Which worked out because I can't leave a messy house before I go on vacation. So I busted my butt getting ready before we even left. So I think because the middle trip that I took, we left my husband home because he didn't have the time to take off to come away with us. So we left him home and he had to deal with some of the house things that happened while we were gone. And like those emergency things that we've been putting off because we're busy. Like, when do I really have the time to go and fix the fence that is falling down in my backyard? Well, when it fell down, I needed to fix it, and I wasn't here for it. So lovely. But now it's like it's still on me to go get it fixed for real, not just jerry rig it so it works for right now. But it is overwhelming. There's just so much. It's not just like what are we doing with work things, because we split our day up between parenting in the beginning in the morning and then getting the kids to school, and then what are we doing during that time, and then family time after school or whatever they're doing for the day. Where are we fitting in the things for house that need to be done? We're busy if we are working on work things. Like for me right now, I'm doing multiple different work streams, but you're in a totally different situation, Linda, where you're really focusing on just surviving during that time period the kids are not there. So you're missing all that getting the work stuff done. And I can't imagine what cabin fever is feeling like when the things that are helping you keep your house in a good spot. It's a really tough, like, tug and pull on us.
And I think both of us at times have been the type to go all in and become a little bit like workaholic, sort of go, and I'll just work extra on top of doing extra and putting the extra mile and etc.
Yeah.
And do Can you recognize or know at times where your self-care has suffered?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Like, I was asking that question as diplomatically as possible, while also being not like too obviously. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's say for me, I think I dive. I classify myself as a workaholic for sure. Type A personality, like everything's gotta go my way, and don't bother me when I'm working. Like I need my work. But also at the same time, life is happening around me and life is happening hard. So I think between last year and this phase, like you need self-care because it was evident. And it wasn't even that, in my opinion, from what I am seeing from my perspective, which is not the same as what some of the other people who support me see, but for me, I'm seeing a roadblock to getting my work done because life is happening around me and that I am being forced to just slow down by these other things that are out of my control to focus on those things, which not exactly self-care for me, but in a way, is it not self-care? Like to slow down is self-care, in my opinion, in this instance for myself, because otherwise I would go into burnout. So it almost feels like whatever is out in this world, in my opinion, I'd go by divine intervention here with my beliefs. So I do think God has a huge hand in like, no, you need to focus on this situation in your life happening right now. And that's been mostly my dad. And now it's coupled in with, some other family concerns along with that. So also things that are happening in Declan's life. His age transitions cause for me to pay attention to him more than sometimes my work. And that I love the fact that I can do that with my entrepreneurial adventure, as we call it. And I get to shift my focus based on what my capability is. And I forget that I have that sometimes. And that's the whole purpose of me running my own business, is to be flexible and not to be a workaholic, like I claim slowing down part, to be able to focus on someone else ends up being that self-care because I'm not putting it in to break up that work for myself normally. So I think that was a good way for me to start my summer break with my son and get 3 weeks away and kind of dive right back into figuring out how does work fit into what this summer looks like, with where I need to still be making sure I'm paying attention to the other people in my life who need it, as well as still somehow contributing financially by having work time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a challenge.
Yeah, it's interesting that you like word it in a way as it being a roadblock to work.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, it's just, I find it very curious that that's the way it is. One way to describe it of many, I'm sure. At the same time, you just said yourself, it's required because otherwise you'd be on the road to burning out completely.
Yeah. It's such a tossing thing. Like, I was raised to be this type that just works, but also never raised to take care of myself as well. So how do we teach ourselves that and still feel like we're accomplishing something? It's that finding value in what we're doing.
Yeah, because we can also fall into the workaholic trap in the home environment too, where we're constantly feeling like we have to keep
the
house to a certain standard and then sacrificing not only self-care but parenting as well, like not letting the kids just be kids and drop crumbs on the floor, or make a mistake, or make a mess, which is, I think, part of childhood as well.
Yeah.
So, we can fall into that work at home, which then it can be a source of resentment and all sorts of things like that as well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know where I was going to go next, but I do want to know, Linda, for you, you're in a different place than you were when we first started this podcast, where you are working more so on the home and in the home right now, versus where I used to see you putting your focus for work. Are you finding yourself in that loophole of the home now being your workaholic spot? And is self-care making its way in there for you now?
I think, like you, I've been forced to slow down and to focus on. I also do not find the home maintenance as fulfilling. I do find it, like you said, a loop of constantly feeling like I can't keep up with the home stuff. I'm sure there were times when I was doing the more of the online working income stuff, where I also felt like I couldn't keep up. But the house is so much more in your face. It's really in your face and constant and out of control, and you're not the one making a lot of the mess, and with a 2-year-old who's into nearly everything, and then a 4-year-old who doesn't like mess at all, and then a 10-year-old who chops up oranges on the right onto the kitchen edge and leaves all the it just feels like so never ending, and I don't find it fulfilling. I don't actually. I feel like I could sort of fall into that workaholic category, but I'm not. I don't love it. I don't do it easily or naturally or willingly, shall I say. Yeah.
So when you're not finding fulfillment in the work that we're doing, especially like, yes, I'm not really sure I'm meant to be cleaning my home and organizing it 24/7. Not where I find fulfillment either. Oh my God. Does that spill over? And are we finding fulfillment when we do the self-care that we're trying to squeeze in? Or does that end up like kind of spoiling self-care when it's like trying to take a break from doing all that workaholic stuff that we're doing? Like, I know me, I'm like, oh, I'd rather be working than doing self-care right now sometimes. So I do find my self-care then to be unfulfilling sometimes. Not that, I mean, I am kind of that way with the housework. I know I have all this stuff to do. Is kind of like more so the guilt of not doing it, I guess, when it comes to choosing to go do something else than do I find that self-care isn't fulfilling because I'd rather be doing, or not really rather be doing, but no, I have different responsibilities and it doesn't feel like a responsibility. I don't know. Do you find that fulfillment changes?
Yeah, sorry. Maybe a little bit. I do know that sometimes it is much more relaxing to sit down if I'm not surrounded by mess and, read a book, let's say. If I'm reading a book and looking around and going, oh my gosh, there's so much to do.
Yeah, we feel better when the house is straightened up so we can do self-care. Yeah.
At the same time, I'm also like, I think I've mentioned this before, I'm not the sort of person who has the house tidy and then finds that very relaxing. I'm more of the sort of person that has a house tidy and then gets really frustrated or annoyed when somebody's just pulled out every single bit they can find.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm more to that stage of don't touch anything, don't get anything out, don't do anything if the house is tidy, which I also don't find very enjoyable either. So,
yeah. Yep. And I'm just at the point, what? Let's just let it be messy. And I mean, I at least
got two big days a week where I just give it a really decent go.
Yeah.
And then the other days I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I know tomorrow's our scheduled day and that's okay.
Yeah. I feel you. And I gotten a shift in, so we have these bins that have all of Declan's toys in it. So they're out, but away. So he can just pull out what he wants to play with. And I have an obsession of, the OCD comes out. So they all have to be categorized. Each bin has, the Transformers and then the Paw Patrol and then Bingo.
Oh, the amount of time.
Louie, and, I pull it all out, dump it out and throw it like I do because I love it that way. I know where it is then. I don't have to go searching through 12 bins to find one little thing. No, we gave that up. And now everything just goes wherever it wants to. And I have to bite my tongue every time I look at it. I can't help you find anything because I don't know where it is.
No. I've gone through that so many times, and I still sometimes will have a really good go where I'll just sort it all out, and then it's straight back to it 2 days.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like that's actually a really good self-care thing for myself to like a puzzle. You know how you get sucked into doing a problem solving kind of thing, and that's where I go with it sometimes. But
well, I'm certainly hoping that I don't hand down too much of the workaholic over self-care for my kids over generations.
Yeah, I'm trying to break that cycle so that they don't have to do that.
We would also love to hear from you if you're really struggling with being a workaholic and trying to fit in self-care as well. We have a short list that we've sort of put together that we'd love to share with you. All of the details are in the show notes. And Jill, I know you've got a wiggly worm on your lap, so until next week.
Oh, we hope you can unstuck your mind.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.